The 4201 Schools Association, Dr. Bernadette Kappen, co-chair, New York Association on Independent Living, Lindsay Miller, executive director, Advocates for Children of New York, Randy, and then to start with Dr. Bernadette Kappen.
Thanks so much. On behalf of the 4201 Schools Association, I'd like to thank the legislature for always supporting us and the opportunity to testify today. The executive budget proposes level funding for our schools, and we're so appreciative of this. We urge you to approve this proposal in the executive budget. The pandemic has been difficult for all schools, students, staff, and families. The schools in the 4201 Schools Association all prepared to offer the best possible educational programs to the students. Students with sensory impairments, blindness, deafness, need close contact for communication and learning. It's a challenge to teach a first grader Braille from 6 feet or even harder remotely. Think about young students who are deaf, learning to use American Sign Language, or a deafblind student who needs tactile signing, or students with physical disabilities who need close contact for their personal needs or adjusting their medical equipment. The staff at all the schools in the association put aside fear and jumped into their work to make sure the students received what they needed. Students who are at home received materials through the mail, and in some cases, staff brought the materials to their homes. Families joined the staff. Staff focused on the social emotional needs of the children. The schools serve a diverse population of students, as you know, and so it's been a challenge for us in those areas. But our goal is always focusing on excellence and giving every student opportunity to be successful to fulfill their dreams. These things are possible because of the support we receive and continues to be necessary to offer the students what they need and deserve. And certainly thinking forward for the mental health needs of our students, we certainly need to plan for that. In our testimony, you see there that we're asking for support for the emergency assistance to non-public schools. We're requesting that the legislature set aside $2.25 million to support us in this area. We know that we're small and don't want to be caught in the bucket there of not being able to receive any funds. And as you can imagine, the pandemic has been a challenge for everyone at our schools, keeping the students safe with extra PPE, purchasing extra furniture, working on social distancing, extra cleaning supplies, and especially the technology area. Sensory impairments require additional support in the technology area, not just the computer or the iPad. Again, I want to express our gratitude for all your support. We know how difficult this budget year is, and we are thankful for how we've been treated in the executive budget. And for the association, I just leave you with this quote today from Helen Keller: "Optimism is the faith that leads to achievement. Nothing can be done without hope or confidence." And I think that's our motto. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you all for being here. Just wanted to say thank you to Dr. Kappen for her advocacy. I saw some of the videos that they've been putting up of the students on the website. They're great. Just a question. So on the non-public federal fund and that $2.5 million ask, if you can just expound on that in terms of costs that the 4201 schools have sustained as a result of, COVID relating expenses, and, whether that amount is as a result of kind of surveying the costs or where that figure comes from, because I think it's definitely important that we have some funding set aside there.
Thanks, Assemblyman Ra. Yes, we did a survey of the schools to see how much was spent in the areas of personnel, cleaning supplies, for social distancing, technology, and we estimated around $2 million at that point of the 10 schools that are in the association. So we know that there are 11 4201 schools. So we were counting that number for the 11 of us, and then some ongoing increases that we would have. And we could see that there was dramatic increases for us in the area of the technology in particular. Some schools had to hire additional nurses. to be able to meet the needs, or other personnel. Definitely the furniture was a big issue, and the PPE. I mean, I think you can imagine for some of the children that are physically disabled, that you need to really be close to them. Or for some of our children, if you're working with them in the classroom, you really can't be 6 feet. So we have to have adequate PPE, and we all did strive to stay open and be able to maintain the children, because we know that they need to be here for the social reasons. So we did survey the schools to come up with that number.
Okay, thank you very much.
But I did have a question with respect to your students. What percentage of them, or maybe all of them, currently have both devices that are appropriate for their challenges that they face, and also broadband? Is it everyone has both those things? Some percentage do and some don't. Can you just give us a little more on that?
As far as the, the students at the Institute, they all have, they were all given iPads and other devices. I would say at least 95% of the families have some access to broadband. We do have a few families that struggle with that. I would say a huge issue is the number of people in the household using that the stability of the broadband is not good. And that's really a huge challenge for many of our students. And as I mentioned before, we have many children in the 4201 schools that are coming from low-income families, and they just can't afford to do any better. So I think the proposal for the broadband is really important for all of our students as well.
Okay, and